What's going on, Bulls Nation? Welcome into CHGO Bulls Pregame, presented to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook. Download their app and be sure to use promo code CHGO when you sign up. I'm Matt Peck. Hello. You can follow me on Twitter at Bulls_Peck. This is my guy, my pal, Big Dave Watson. He is at BAWL Sports on the Twitter machine. Our other pal and our producer, Joey Spath, is back in the fold, running the controls. Hello, Joseph. Young Joseph, how are you today?
Hello, I'm good. How are you?
Joseph, I got questions. I got two questions, actually.
Yeah.
One for you and one for Matt.
What?
I'll go with you first. What's with the new headset here that you're wearing on your face?
Same ones from Paris. They're just nicer, so figure why not?
So does the mic – you're still talking to the other mic? That one doesn't work?
Number one, can you pull your mic in a little bit?
Pull my mic in a little bit. Sure. Go ahead.
There you go. So this no longer is what I'm using right now. I will use it in the future when we have four people on set. But no, this is just what we used in Paris. But the sound comes through clear on this. So
okay.
Nice.
I like Joey in a headset.
You like headsets?
He looks
Joey?
good. Yeah,
Joey
I like Joey headsets.
You like Joey headsets? All right.
Appreciate it.
What up, Jeff?
Question for you, sir.
Yes, sir.
Well, it's not even a question, it's a statement. Can we please give Matt some props for this ensemble that he is rocking right now?
Hey.
Do you see
Hello.
the shirt matching with the ones right here? This is very nice.
Hey.
This is very, very nice right here, ladies and gentlemen. All right? This is good stuff, Matthew. This is good stuff.
I don't know if there's anything better than getting a compliment on your wardrobe from this stylish as hell man right here.
It's pretty nice.
It wasn't an accident.
It doesn't seem like one.
So I only brought a pair of shoes to Paris.
Okay.
That pair of black and red Air Force Ones I have, you know, that I wear to work every day.
Right.
They were already a little worn down, and then they got even more beat up on that Paris trip from all the walking around we did.
True.
And so I got back from Paris, and I was like, you know what? I think I want to buy a few new pairs of shoes.
Okay.
So a few new pairs of shoes that ended up being 6 new pairs of Jordans.
Oh, yeah! That boy bought 6 of them things. That boy bought
6 pairs of shoes?
Huh?
You bought 6 pairs of shoes?
You heard
I
that,
did.
man.
Interesting.
He's an adult, damn it.
I've never been a big Jordans guy, but then I got back and I was like, this pair of Air Force Ones is getting real tired. And I have a pair of white Jordan ones that I will wear occasionally.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I just got back from Paris feeling fancy. Also didn't spend the money on upgrading our seats on the flight home. I was like, well, got to spend that money on something else.
So wait, how many pairs of Jordans do you own now?
7 now.
7. So I think you have more than 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 6.
Oh,
I think he's got one
Peck
more than
takes
me.
the lead.
Takes the lead. I had 7, but I gave one to my brother. I gave him a pair. So yeah, I have 6. 7-6. You're up, sir. Congratulations.
For now.
For now.
That's probably the one and only time in my life I will splurge on Jordans like that. But you'll see some new pairs rolling through the studio in the coming days and weeks.
I'm excited, man. Are you scared to walk outside in the snow?
I stepped so gingerly just walking to the West Loop Market and back right now to get a snack. And I was like, okay, don't want to step in any snow, don't want to step in any big, chunks of granulated salt.
Yes.
I'm very protective, but I was like, you know what? Got them, gonna wear them.
I dig, sir. Congratulations. This is nice. Joey, do you have any pairs of Jordans?
Yes.
You do?
I do, yeah. Well, I used to be a sneakerhead. Now I no longer care.
Okay.
I had a couple nice pairs that I no longer have for multiple reasons. Like I had a pair of Grape 5s that were beyond beat up.
Okay.
That I don't even know where they are. They were destroyed.
So
falling apart.
What's your total? What's your total of Jordans?
So now it's probably down to like 1 or 2.
Okay.
I sold a pair of Jordan 3s that I bought that I really liked at the time and saved up for. And then I have a pair of Space Jam 11s that no longer fit me.
Ooh.
But I just have them in my closet because I don't know what to do with them.
something.
Yeah, well, they're also from like 2001.
Ah, okay. The reissue.
Or they might be from 2009.
Okay.
But they're like coming apart.
Okay.
Like the sole is coming off.
Gotcha.
And so,
All
like
right.
whatever. I'll just keep it in
Peck's
the
in the
closet.
league is all I can tell you.
Yeah,
Here's
Peck's
your
in the
chance,
league.
do your dance.
He's your champion.
Technically,
Get
Will's
some
not.
more shoes.
Do your dance. Is what
Technically, Will's not here, but
Will does,
You
I
Will's
think
got
we
a
can
bunch
go
of
ahead
them?
and give.
Now, that's the
I think
bet
we
right
can go
there.
ahead and give Peck the win on
That's
this
the
one.
bet. Like, how many pairs do you think Will has?
I don't know. I'm trying to remember.
He usually wears those like clogs.
Yeah, he usually got some New Balance on, bro.
No, he's got those like boot boot.
He just
type.
doesn't strike me as somebody who's spending money on some sneakers. He don't spend money in general, but
right.
he just really strikes me.
Neither do I usually.
Right. He just
It's funny because I used to buy shoes when I didn't have money. Like I would use the old 95% of my money. I would be like, oh, shoes. Now I have money and I'm like not interested.
Well, you're an adult now, Joe. So the first part of your money that comes in has to go to like rent and bills and groceries.
Yeah, I get that part of it, but it's like still, I'm like,
see, so
no shoes.
Get a lady, get an apartment. You got to save your money, man.
That's correct.
The Bulls have a game tonight.
Yes, they do.
We should probably talk about that. Clips for the first time this season. Bulls Clips first matchup of the year between East and West teams. We'll check in on what the Clips have been up to so far this season later on in tonight's pregame show. But we wanted to start with a couple of things about some younger guys on this Bulls squad. Wanted to do a quick hit on P-Dub and some of the interesting things that Billy had to say about him at their practice yesterday. But before we get to that, Big Dave, I know that you wanted to talk about maybe a worrying trend in Ayo Dosunmu and his assist numbers that are down substantially from last season.
Main man Ayo Dosunmu, yes.
Our guy. Ayo Argayo.
Yeah, yes. Mm-hmm. As you know, well, as I'm sure you know, my favorite position is point guard. I love point guard. It's the best. It's the best. I love it. And so before the season started, when we were giving out our things we wanted Bulls players to do, you know, and one of mine, and I believe it was one of yours too, was Ayo's assist numbers to increase.
Correct. Yes.
And mine was at 4.5. You know what I mean? 4.5 assists a game. He averaged, I believe, 3.6 or 3.3 last year. I'm sure you'll see the graphic when it comes up. But But yes, I wanted to talk about that. Yeah, let's talk about that for a second, man. I just wanted to show you what has really just been a downturn for Ayo as far as his assists. Joey, can you show me those numbers, please? Now, you see the 20-21-22, you see the 3.3 a game. The 2.6 a game, I mean, that's a big drop. And what's worrisome is because he's the starter now.
Right.
Now, as you see last year, he started 40 games and still averaged those 3.3 assists. And he started 39 so far, and as you can see,
so
the 2.7.
That's the even more striking difference to me, though, is that in those 40 starts he had last season, he averaged 5.5 assists a game.
He sure did.
And now in the 39 starts thus far this season, 2.7.
2.7 in the starts this season. I don't know.
That is half. That is exactly half of the assists he was getting in his starts last season.
Yeah, and that was the startling thing for me because, like I said, they're relying upon him now this season. He's got more opportunities to do what he wants to do on the floor. Now, of course, his scoring has increased. He's getting to the bucket more. He's averaging close to 10 points a game. I get that. But as a point guard, we need you to pass the basketball. Because if you look at their numbers just as a team, that went from, I believe, 19 last year as a team. They're about like 25 or 26 this year. And even on the squad this year, he's sixth. You know what I'm saying? In assists. Like, DeMar's ahead of him.
Yeah.
Dragic is ahead of him.
I'm guessing Vooch is too now.
Yes, Vooch is ahead of him. Caruso is ahead of him. And Zach LaVine is ahead of Ayo Dosunmu. You know what I mean? Like, this is your starting point guard.
Yeah.
And already I named you 2 point guards that are ahead of you that come off the bench. You know what I mean? And Caruso has been injured often, you know, and Dragic is Dragic, you know what I mean? But they're still averaging more assists, and that's what's really, really concerning. And then I had to go a little bit deeper, you know, into those numbers, man, because I was like, well, let me start removing some of the excuses or some of the reasoning that people might have. Joe, you show me that second graphic here. Now, you can see in 2021-22, 10-plus assists. He had 4 of those games where he had 10-plus assists. You know what I mean? Bulls are 3-1 in those games.
Okay.
10-plus assists. This year, no 10-assist games. 0.
Not even any 8 assist
Not
games.
even 9. 0. 8 assists. 0. You know what I mean? So 8. I had to go down to 8-plus to show just how much it's dwindled. I can't even start at 10.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I had to go to 8. And so he hasn't even done that. He has had 7 assists once. You know, he's done 6 assists twice. You know what I mean? Like it's been like that for him this year. The last one really highlighted it for me as well. In this season with 5-plus assists, he's had 5 of those games. In those games, the Bulls are 4-1. And do you know the one loss was the Donovan Mitchell 71-point game?
Oh, man.
That was the one time where they lost the game where he had those assists. And they honestly could have won that game.
Should have won that game.
Should have won that game. You know what I mean? But that's what's really, really disturbing is the fact that he's starting more He's getting more opportunities. He has the ball in his hands more. He's more time on the floor, but the assist numbers aren't there. And, of course, I'm going to put in the fact that, of course, some of the players aren't hitting the shots. The Bulls, not a good three-point shooting team. Spacing, all that other stuff hasn't been great. But there have been times on the floor, and I remember I believe it was last game when Ayo got a switch where Vooch had a little person on him and was reposting, was like, hey, give me the ball. And Ayo didn't even look at him. He just went right around him into the bucket. You know what I mean? And nothing good came from that.
Yeah.
So it's on both of these guys, but it starts with him because he is the point guard. He is the quarterback. And I need him to know that. It starts with you, man. Like, you can control everything that's going on the floor, bro. You really can.
And, I think there's a couple facets to this to maybe explain why those numbers are down. You mentioned the fact that just generally speaking, the Bulls have not been a great shooting team this season. Para Junior Sports, one of our regulars in the comments, pointing out also that Ayo's downturn in his shooting this season could be part of the explanation for that, saying Ayo's jump shot isn't falling, therefore the pump fakes aren't working, which means fewer opportunities after a pump fake to drive and kick out to shooters. That could be one interesting element of it.
Yes.
The other thing, when you were just talking to me just now about this being this team's starting point guard, and last season, the Bulls ran a little bit more.
Yes.
Yes, they had their DeMar ISO possessions where things kind of slowed down, but they also got out and ran. Their pace is down this season. Right. It's sort of middle of the pack. The Clips, who they're playing tonight, actually one of the slowest teams in the league, even slower than the Bulls, but I feel like that is when Ayo can get his playmaking opportunities, is in transition.
Sure.
He's not really running their half-court offense.
Correct.
Or not running it, several times over every stint that he's out there.
That's absolutely right. But I'll counter that by saying this. Also, last year, I saw a lot more two-man game with Ayo Dosunmu and Vooch, or whoever. And Ayo Dosunmu, Patrick Williams. I saw a lot more two-man game because Ayo Dosunmu is better when he's in the paint running a pick and roll, and he gets there and he makes that no-look bounce pass that he likes to make, throws that alley-oop right there, man, or to Javonte Green, another guy who's missing for the Bulls. That hurts your transition, things like that. But you haven't really seen that this year from him. Now, getting to the bucket and doing those things has nothing to do with a jump shot, has nothing to do with a pump fake. You getting to the bucket is something you can do. We've seen it. He's been doing it all season long.
And Aya's been getting to the bucket in transition very successfully this season.
Yes.
There will be those possessions where he'll grab a rebound or get a quick outlet pass from whoever grabs the rebound and just sees an opportunity, scans the floor, and takes off coast to coast and gets to the rack.
Yes, exactly right. And now you don't see this. And that two-man game with him and Vooch, I'm inside of 0 to 10 feet. I'm not seeing it anymore. You know what I mean? Like, it's just he's got his blinders on. It reminds me of when Kobe White did that a lot his rookie year and his second year. Got those blinders on, and that was it. Even in transition, Ayo isn't really passing it either. He's getting to the bucket and he's scoring. You know what I mean? He's
Which I love that I was looking for those opportunities.
That's not a complaint.
To score.
You know what I'm saying? That's not a complaint. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just throwing it out there because it's a fact. But I really need him to start looking more for his teammates within that half-court set, within that, two-man game that he can run with Patrick Williams, even if it means Patrick Williams not posting up, but outside at the three-point line, and it's a pick and roll, and he kicks it back out for a pick and pop. I'm with that too, but those numbers have to go up. The ball has to move. We've seen the Bulls play better when the ball has rhythm and it has an energy and it doesn't get stuck.
Right.
So he has to be the one to facilitate that, and I'm putting it on him because he's the point guard. That's the only reason I'm putting it on him right now. He is the starting point guard.
Well, Jeff Crook in the comments saying, to play devil's advocate, isn't Ayo playing more off ball this year? I know he's a quote-unquote point guard, but really Zach and DeMar control the ball, or even Vooch. They're not running their offense through Ayo.
Correct.
He might have a PG, letters next to his name. He's not running this offense.
You don't have to run it to get yourself a two-man game.
Yeah.
It's honestly, you don't. You know what I mean? And being a point guard, you can still call for the ball at any time you want the basketball, because it might just be a title.
Right.
But there's still a title.
Yeah.
If you're a center, they're not getting, and you call for the ball at the top of the key, you might not get it. You know what I'm saying? But you're the point guard. I don't care if you run it or not. You're going to get the ball. My point to that is, when Ayo calls for the ball and takes off all the way down the floor and scores. He gets the ball because he calls for it, because he's the point guard. They're going to give it to you because you're the point guard. I just want him to look a little bit more for those guys and a little bit more for that two-man game. You're right. They're not running that offense through him like that. He's not the option like that. But he doesn't have to be, you know what I'm saying, to get those assist numbers up. He really doesn't have to be.
Fair enough. I see Colin in the comments saying Ayo's having a sophomore slump season. There could be some element to that. Also, there's more tape on Ayo than there was when he was a rookie second-round pick who people didn't expect to need to have on their scouting report on a nightly basis.
Yes.
That can be a factor, too, and part of a sophomore slump. But Ayo is clearly, from what we have seen, a very hardworking young man, a very bright basketball player.
Intelligent. Super.
I have faith that he's going to work his way through this.
I do, too, as well. And that's why I'm bringing some light to it. Because I just want to show you, and again, like I said, his scoring numbers have gone up. We like that. He's attacking the basket more, and we like that too. Yeah. I just want him to get more involved with another person on the offense so they can get that two-man game going, give the defense something else to worry about, and elevate his game a little bit more. Okay. He's good. He's really good.
He is very good.
Joey, do you know any of the albums I had up there for that title? Okay, just checking.
I also assumed that they had some music references to them.
1 2 Pass It is I can't even go too deep into that. It's a hip-hop classic. That's just real deep. DJ Premier did it.
Different from 1 2 Step.
Yes, from 1 2 Step. But All Things Come to Pass is a George Harrison album. That's one of his best albums. You know what I mean? When he, putting out his solo
George
work.
Harrison.
Correct. That's one of his best albums, man. Y'all should check that one out. It's really good.
Alrighty. More on Bulls Clippers pregame coming up next. Quick break to tell you guys about our friends at DraftKings. While we're doing that, hit that thumbs up button if you're watching along with us on YouTube. NBA fans, time to bring the hoops action to the palm of your hand with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official betting partner of the NBA and our official betting partner at CHGO. This week, new customers can bet $5 and win $200 in free bets instantly. Plus, for a limited time, all new and existing customers can get a no-sweat same-game parlay every day. Just go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app today, opt in, and place the same game parlay on any NBA game. And if it doesn't hit, you'll get a free bet back.
What?
Risk-free same game parlay. Who doesn't want to do that?
Joey wants to do it.
He does. I do. I'm going to get you on board soon enough.
Super Bowl's coming. I'll be on board.
Baby.
I'm on board. That's when I get my gambling on, baby.
Download that app. Sign up with promo code CHGO. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. Void in Ohio. See show notes for details. All right. Speaking of the young guys in this Bulls starting lineup, wanted to touch on some interesting words of wisdom that we heard from Billy Donovan at the Bulls practice yesterday.
Okay.
I don't know. Have you seen this, Dave?
The Pat Williams.
Yes.
Okay.
About Pat.
I
love these words.
I do too.
For all you Billy haters out there, maybe not even Billy haters, but Billy skeptics and Billy doubters, watch him talk about Pat taking his offensive efficiency to the next level in this clip, Joey, if you please.
Listen.
I think he's made incredible growth and incredible strides. His rookie year was so unique with COVID, no summer league, shortened training camp. It just was a unique situation. Last year, the wrist, I feel like this has been like a whole year where he's been able to, you could see a steady incline in his progress. Where he's gotten better is he's shot the ball better. I think he's reading closeouts a lot better. But the next piece to the closeout is, how does he get to the free throw line more? And most fouls are going to take place around the basket. Like, he's got to learn when people are on him that he just goes up to the basket and creates that contact and generates that foul. He had that great drive against Orlando where he went around the guy and he dunked it. Like, there's going to be more opportunities for fouls the more and closer he is to the rim. I do think there's opportunities to eliminate some of those pull-up mid-range jump shots because sometimes there's an open lane in front of him that he's just stopping at 15 and taking it where he can continue on. There's times where he's driving and the guy is on him, like Trae Young's great at it. You see a lot of those great scores. They know how to get themselves to the free throw line. I think that's the next phase for Patrick in maturation, to your point, of even being able to score more. Is it's really hard to be an elite scorer and never get to the free throw line. You're generally getting to an elite scorer because the guy shoots threes, can play in the mid-range, and then he gets to the free throw line because he's in around the basket. So that's, I think, the next evolution for him.
Thank you, Joseph. Thank you, Billy. It's not like that was any super in-depth X's and O's talk.
Yeah.
But it was Billy talking about the strengths of Pat's game and where he can take it even better.
Yes.
That thing he said about Pat getting better at figuring out how to attack closeouts,
Yes.
but then eliminating those baffling mid-range pull-ups where he beats a guy on a bite, behind the arc somewhere, and then gets past his man, and then instead of continuing to attack the basket to get a layup or a dunk or some free throws,
Yes.
he pulls up and shoots from 15 to 18 feet, and you're like, why, Pat?
Yeah.
Look at the lane in front of you.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
Keep going. And it's like, it seems simple, but just to hear Billy say that, it's like, okay, good. Bulls fan, we're not crazy. Billy's telling Pat to do things that make sense on a basketball court.
Yeah.
And a lot of Bulls fans always, there's that complaint that comes up often. This team is bad at developing young talent.
Yeah.
They can't take the talent that they get from the draft and make it better progressively.
It's been said.
And that little mini monologue from Billy right there gave me so much more faith in him and in Pat because it made sense.
Yes. The logic. It also validated a lot of the things I think you and I were also saying, especially about the injury and this kind of being a year where he's finally just on the floor. And so he doesn't look at it the same because he's like, well, it's hard. He missed an entire season pretty much. You know what I mean? That is development. You know what I mean? So now this is a year where he's getting that development. Those things he was saying right there about the pull-up jumper, we've been screaming that. And what I think about is he's doing what he's taught. He was like, he plays like he's doing exactly what he was taught to do. And they was like, no, they showed you the tools, bro. Like, you can figure it out from there. He's like, no, I was taught 1, 2, stop, pull up, jumper. You know what I mean? 1, 2, spin, stop, shot. You know what I mean? Like, he's doing it like he's being shown. But it's going to come a time just through repetition, as we've seen with his game. It just comes a time with repetition where it's going to start clicking for him, saying, hey, that lane is wide open. Maybe I should continue on going and doing it. You've seen it happen. Like that last game in Orlando is the best example. I never saw him do those kind of moves. I just didn't. I had never seen it. And that just lets me know he's getting more and more and more comfortable. I keep telling you, man, he is like that actor that asks, what's my motivation? You can't just tell him, go do it. Go act. No, he needs to know. He needs to plan. He got to figure it out. It's got to be set. And if it's not, then it makes no sense to him. So now you see that him doing that over and over again. And it's great to hear Billy Donovan on that same page, you know what I'm saying, that we have definitely been on.
Yeah. And I think it was our guy, Willie Gottlieb, who had a couple of Pat stats on Twitter the day before. His free throws are up. If you look at his free throws that he's taken in the month of January compared to October, November, December combined, it's more in January.
Yes, it is.
And it's like he is slowly piecing together more of his game.
Yeah.
And getting those opportunities and recognizing those opportunities to be someone who's like, oh, that we've talked about that intimidation factor with Pat. That's like, oh, well, I'm playing on this team and in this starting lineup with this guy and that guy and that guy. And
right.
Who am I to ask for the ball? Or it's like, no, dude, just
Pat freaking Williams.
Use the opportunities from within what your team is doing offensively to take your share.
That's
just take your share and embrace and dominate your share of the offense. That's all Bulls fans are asking of you now.
Nothing more and nothing less than that. Take what's yours.
Right.
Not when it doesn't belong to you, but take what's yours, man. And it feels like the team is starting to believe in him a little more.
I sure as shit hope so. It was funny, that video that was going around. I think it was Bull Don't Lie on Twitter. That had a video with the audio of one of their plays in that Orlando game, and Pat and Zach LaVine had a great drive coming from the left side and kicked it out to a wide open Pat in the corner, who then immediately flung it over to Vooch, and Vooch hit the three from the top of the key.
He did.
But you could hear yell Zach from the arena noise. God damn it, Pat!
Oh my God, Pat!
Yeah,
you heard it loud. And then when he hit it was like he was pointing like, but dude, like he hit the three.
He was like, well, I made a pass, and it was a good swing pass.
It was.
But you know what else would have been a good shot? Pat shooting a wide open corner three.
Yes, correct, man, correct. What did his coach? Hey, you saw the principal. She told him, stop passing the ball. Stop passing the ball, Pat.
Seriously.
That's what she told you.
All right, we got a few minutes left before we get to tip-off. Wanted to quickly check in on the Clippers because the Bulls have not yet faced them this season.
True.
Quickly, injury update for the Clippers. All bad news for the Bulls because it's a bunch of clean reports for the Clippers.
That's not good.
Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, who have both been in and out a lot this season.
Okay.
Not at all on their injury report after having missed a few games recently. Kawhi's been dealing with right knee management, which we know Kawhi to do. Paul George, right knee soreness. Neither of them even on the injury report today.
Okay.
So they are active and playing. Reggie Jackson and Robert Covington both have missed some games recently with minor injuries. Reggie and Achilles, or Robert Covington was personal reasons excused absence recently. They are both back in the fold and available for the Clippers tonight. John Wall still out, but it's not like he's been a huge factor for them since arriving to the Clippers. Marcus Morris Sr. also out with a rib.
Yeah.
But for the most part, this is going to be a healthy Clippers team that the Bulls face tonight.
And they are coming to win because in the West right now, outside of the Nuggets, Grizzlies, and Kings, the Kings, baby, the Cold.
But seeds 3 through 12
4 through
are like,
4 through 9, because the Clippers are 4.
Yeah.
4 through 9 is separated by one game.
Insane.
One game. Like, there are two, like the Warriors, Mavericks, and Suns, half game.
Right.
Separated from the Clippers. And then the Pelicans and Timberwolves, one game.
Yeah.
You know, it's that close. So every game means a lot to them.
I mean, they're
right now.
28 and 25, only 3 games over 500, but holding on to that 4th seed in the West right now, which, you know what the 4th seed means. It means home court in the first round.
This is true. It's true. It means a lot, man. So, yeah, man, these teams are battling. So they're going to come and they're going to be bringing their A game tonight, man. The Bulls got to match it.
So Kawhi and Paul George, when they've been playing this season, have been doing their thing. I mean, neither of them are putting up MVP caliber numbers, but together they are playing very solid complementary star roles. Paul's averaging 23, 6, and 5.
Okay.
Kawhi's averaging 21, 6, and 4. Oof. I mean, as your two best players, those are some pretty solid stats you put up. However, Kawhi Leonard has played in 27 games this season and missed 26. So he's basically played 50-50 this season. Paul George has played a few more. He's played 36 games this season and missed 17.
Okay.
They have only played in the same game on the court together in 21 of 53 games so far this season. And they are still 28 and 25.
Shout out Ty Lue, by the way. That dude can coach, man. Ty Lue can coach. But, yeah, this is what the Clippers – it's like this is their normal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? This is what it's been since Kawhi has gotten there. They're just still waiting on that return. You know what I mean? Like that deep, deep playoff run hasn't happened for them yet. They're waiting on that return. It might come this year, but hopefully it doesn't start tonight. Because they coming. I'm telling you, they coming tonight, baby. They coming.
So I mentioned earlier that the Clips are actually one of the slower teams as far as pace of play offensively.
You did?
The Bulls are a middle-of-the-pack team. I think they're 16th-ish right now the last time I checked. The Pacers at 97.4 possessions per 48 minutes have the 25th paced offense in the NBA. This is a team that plays slowly. And with, ISO Paul George, with ISO Kawhi, that's kind of to be expected. It's also an older team.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking this is a team that the Bulls can actually match up well with tonight.
He's right.
Because what kind of teams give the Bulls trouble? What kind of teams give the Bulls fits? Young teams that run around the court like crazy pants. This team is going to be slow, which means the Bulls, who have been improving recently on the defensive end, I believe have the 10th ranked defensive rating in the NBA coming into tonight's action.
Flex.
They can match up well with the Clips tonight if
agree.
they get locked in and engaged defensively.
I completely agree. Because, again, like you said, they don't have to run up and down hard. And, this is going to come down to DeMar. He is also ISO king, So, yeah, this plays right into the Bulls' hands. But the problem is the Bulls in a half-court offense is a struggle, so something's going to have to give on that one because this can't be all DeMar for 4 quarters. That's not going to work that way.
No.
So something has to give, man. Ayo.
Maybe move the ball like you did against Orlando. See if that works.
Get it into Vooch, let him do his thing. I mean, it's a lot of options. The Bulls are talented enough to have those kind of options where they can, pick and choose how they want to do it. Let's just see them execute it because it hasn't been consistent. Let's start getting consistent with this shit, Bulls.
Yeah. When you look at the Clippers' ratings across the board this season, it is just kind of a stabbing reminder of how close the Bulls are to being where the Clippers are, which is a few games over 500.
Yeah.
Because the Bulls are right there at 0.0 on net rating, right? The Clippers have a 113.3 offensive rating, 23rd in the league.
Okay.
113.2 defensive rating, tied for 10th. Overall, 0.1 on the positive side of net rating for the Clippers, which is still only tied for 18th in the NBA. The Bulls are a couple spots behind them at 0.0. The Bulls are 3 games under 500. The Clippers are 3 games over.
Okay.
And their net ratings are damn near identical.
Is 113 point what?
113.3, 113.2 is offensive defense for the Clips.
I just wanted you to hit that 2 again because I like how you hit that. That was nice. 113.2. You took it up there.
But I mean, it just tells you so many of these games, and it's part of what made the Bulls for a while last season the very strong win-loss record team that they were.
Yeah.
They won so many of their close games.
So many.
That has been flipped this season.
Correct.
And despite having very similar stats across the board to the Clippers as far as ratings, they're 6 games behind them. And at least 6 you could rattle off the top of your head. 6 close games that ended up being losses instead of wins for the Bulls this season.
This is true, man. And also, again, when these games, I'm looking at Patrick Williams because he's playing against his guy. So I'm looking at Patrick Williams. Let's see how he responds against the guy that he models his game after. And hell, his facial expressions after. Models it all after him, man. So I'm looking forward to this kind of matchup.
My most recent favorite NBA graph that I saw on Twitter today featured Patrick Williams making a name for himself on the defensive end. It was like creating more difficult shots on the y-axis and tougher matchups on the x-axis. So guarding harder players and forcing them into more difficult shots. Pat wasn't all the way in the top right corner of that graph, but he stood out from the pack.
Okay.
Impressively so.
I like that. I like hearing stuff like that, man.
D up, Pat.
Let's do that.
D up.
Honorary Oos of the Night. That's a wrestling reference.
There you
Shout
go.
out Jeff Cook.
Hopefully we'll be back for postgame talking about the Goon of the Night.
Hey,
And
let's
a Bulls
do it.
W.
Let's do it.
Just after 7 o'clock Chicago time. That means tip-off is right around the corner. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in to Pregame. Do us a solid. Hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you're subscribed to the CHGO Sports YouTube channel so that you will get an alert when we go live for postgame after Bulls Clippers. Let's get a dub.
Get a dub,
We will
man.
be right back here in these chairs in a couple hours. See Red be good. Get a win. Let's go, Pat.